All right, welcome back for the Star Trek rewatch. It's Thursday, so always do this on Thursday for the most part. Last week took a week off because of Thanksgiving, and as you can see, I'm in my son's room. And for the foreseeable future, at least until winter is over, this is probably where I'll be recording from because it's too dang cold to sit out on my porch and record this thing. In fact, you can see here out the window all the snow and how cold it is. So, yeah. So, here we go. This is episode number 13, The Conscience of the King. And this originally aired on December 8th of 1966. The writer for this was Barry Trivers. The director was Gerd Oswald. The composer for this episode was Joseph Mullendore. And the photographic effects were done by the Weistheimer Company. Now, this one's got like a Shakespearean theme to it. So, synopsis. Kirk receives a message summoning the Enterprise to the home of Dr. Thomas Layton, a brilliant research scientist with whom Kirk had survived an ordeal on the colony of Tarsus 4 many years before. The summons is a trick to lure the captain so that Layton can enable him to see and meet an actor, Anton Caridian. Now, Anton Caridian is played by Arnold Moss. I believe he was a Shakespearean actor. I think he had roots in the Shakespearean theater. I know Shatner did. Shatner was like classically trained Shakespearean actor and part of like the Shakespearean theater company. But Layton here thinks that Caridian is actually Kodos, the ex-governor of Tarsus 4 who initiated the massacre that killed the doctor's entire family and part of Kirk's as well. So there were 8,000 colonists on this planet. Evidently there was some sort of food shortage, and what Kodos, the executioner as he's called, did was he divided the people into two groups and essentially killed half of them. There's a scene where Spock is talking to, it's either Kirk or McCoy, I can't remember at this point, but he's basically saying that they died without pain, but nevertheless, they died. So Kirk's at this party, Layton's party, meets Anton Caridian's daughter, okay, and strikes up a conversation with her. She actually is part of a Shakespearean company. Okay, so they're Shakespearean actors. And this Caridian, they put on a production of Macbeth. That's how like the scene, the episode opens up in the cold open. All right. So what happens is that this Kirk's friend Layton gets killed. They find him dead when Kirk is out walking with Caridian's daughter, Lenore. All right. And then what happens is that Kirk arranges for the Shakespearean company to be beamed aboard the Enterprise so that he can give them transport. That way he can get closer to this Caridian and study him to find out maybe, my friend Layton, I at least owe it to Layton to see perhaps if this guy is indeed Kodos, but it's been 20 years, so Kirk's not entirely sure about it. So he studies the actor during the voyage. Lieutenant Kevin Riley, you remember him. He was in the episode The Naked Time. He was the guy that locked himself in the engineering section and started singing all the Irish ballads. So Bruce Hyde returns. This will be his last appearance. I wish that he would have been in the series more. I really like Lieutenant Kevin Riley. I think he's a great character. And unfortunately, this is it. We'll never see him in another episode. But Lieutenant Kevin Riley was another survivor of the massacre. So he was on the same planet with Kirk 20 years ago. And he almost gets killed. He's sitting down in the engineering section in auxiliary control, and he's talking to Ahura in like the mess deck area and asks her to sing a song over the intercom. And as she's doing so, somebody comes along and squirts something from a spray bottle into his milk. And when he goes to drink his milk, he gets poisoned, nearly dies. He pulls through, thanks to McCoy, Dr. McCoy. Um, through his efforts, Lieutenant Riley lives, but Riley overhears McCoy making a medical log talking about Kodos the Executioner and his connection to Caridian, because they basically figured it out. You know, Spock through a voice analysis, Kirk studying this guy. Kirk really suspects. In fact, the one part I think that's kind of a hole in this episode is he makes him do this voice test where he has to read basically a speech, and they do it through voice analysis, and it's a match, right? Kirk even says to Caridian, like, you can disguise your voice, it won't matter. The test is foolproof. So then the test comes back positive, and then Kirk's like, you know, I know the logic, but I have to feel it. Like, they were talking about a man. I have to know. I have to feel that this is him. And it's like, bro, can you not figure this out already? Like, it is. So even Spock is like no longer suspects. He's like, it is. So that part's kind of wonky. But anyways, Riley goes down with the intent to kill Caridian, who is putting on at this point a production of Hamlet on board the Enterprise. So they're in the middle of the play, and this is when his cray insano daughter walks up to him and tells him that she's the one that killed all these people. And then Caridian / Kodos, okay, we're just gonna call him Kodos now. Kodos is like, what have you done? Now, you know, the blood of these people's on my hands, because there were 9 witnesses that could identify him from back on the Tarsus 4 massacre, and 7 of them are dead. And she attempted to kill Riley, and Kirk is the final one. So Riley and Kirk are the last 2, and Lenore is going cuckoo banana town. She's the one that's been whacking everybody. And so, yeah, it's just Lenore is she's nuts. She's completely nuts. And the actress there that played her is really, really great. Just over the top, melodramatic. You know, she starts quoting a bunch of Shakespearean stuff. So she goes to like shoot Kirk when he comes to the thing. Kirk stops Riley, and then when he's trying to basically apprehend or take Caridian into custody, well, Kodos into custody, Lenore goes to fire to kill Kirk, and Kodos jumps in front of the phaser shot, so she ends up killing her own father. All right, and yeah, that's kind of where the episode's conclusion lies. At the end of the episode, then Kirk and Spock are on the bridge talking about Lenore, and, well, actually, let me just mention this actress's name. Her name is Barbara Anderson. Barbara Anderson. Was she in anything else? I guess she appeared in some episodes of Ironside, Mission Impossible, Night Gallery, and a couple of TV movies. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark with Kim Darby, and the $6 Million Man series pilot. She played Steve Austin's nurse in that episode. So I think she did a fine job playing the crazy, insane person, but Kirk and McCoy are talking about her at the end of the episode, and McCoy's basically asking Kirk, you know, you really felt for her, didn't you? And he doesn't answer. He's like, warp factor 1, and McCoy's like, that's enough. Now, my favorite scene in this episode is when Spock approaches McCoy. Okay, there's this scene where McCoy is sitting by himself drinking brandy alone, and I'm just like, what? So that's, I think, is funny, and he's talking to Spock. I think the banter between Spock and McCoy in this one is like great stuff. I really enjoyed this episode a lot, mainly because of the back and forth between McCoy and Spock in this one I thought was really good. I think all the interactions of the trio were fantastic as usual. Um, this was great fun. Okay, kill count. Once again, we have 0 deaths. Now this to me is, I'm shocked. I am absolutely shocked. I expected to see more crewman deaths on the series, and we've been stuck at 19 for, I don't know. I think it's been like 4 or 5 weeks. It feels like 5 weeks since anybody on this show from the crew died. The kill count, the highest kill count episode remains the second pilot, where No Man Has Gone Before, the one where Gary Mitchell, when they went through the galactic barrier and a bunch of people died, and then that had the highest kill count of any episode. So other than that, there's been relatively few deaths. So I don't know when our next crewman death is coming. And is it wrong for me to say I hope somebody dies next week? That sounds bad. I mean, yeah. I'm kind of shocked about the non-crewman deaths. There have been plenty of other people that have died on the show, non-crew members. But yeah, it just feels wrong, especially with the red shirt trope, with, red shirts always die being a thing. It's beginning to look as if that's not true. Maybe red shirts don't always die. There hasn't been anybody dying. But anyways, that wraps it up. What do you think about this one? Give me your thoughts, feelings, feedback, and as always, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.